In this demonstration video, I'm going to illustrate how easy and quick it is to get started with a Schneider Electric Lexium 32 servo motor. In my case, I have a Lexium 32i, which combines the amplifier with the motor. A few stumbling blocks. First of all, I should point out there's a commissioning software that communicates with the drive, and you want to check the digital inputs to make sure that these are all set to freely available. Otherwise, it's going to be looking for inputs that are wired when they're not wired, if that's the case. Also, field bus, you're going to want to double check the node address. In my case, it's dip switch settings, and I have a node of 13 set. Next thing you're going to want to do is open up the SoMachine software. SoMachine Central software allows you to configure your system. In my case, I have an HMI controller, and I'm using the HMI SCU controller. And then if you double click on controller, this is where you can access the logic builder. This is where you actually do your programming. And you're going to want to check to make sure you're in the Code Assist Classic view, and you're going to want to expand all the tree items on here on the left. Next thing you want to do is right click on application and add an object, and you're going to add a POU. And I'm going to keep the default, and I'm going to use function block diagram and say add. And then you're going to want to add this into the master task so it runs when you start the controller. Next thing you're going to want to do is add your motion network. I'm going to right click on CAN, add device, and double click on CAN Open Optimized. This is going to build the relationship table, bring in all the objects, and add a CAN Open network. It's important to note that this video focuses on intermittent motion, point to point, and this is non-synchronous. If I right click here again, I can add a device. This is where I'm going to add my Lexium motor, in my case the Lexium drive, Lexium 32i, and hit add. This is going to bring in the motor. And then from here you can really begin programming. It's really as quick and easy as that to get started with getting the program put in. I can hit close here. If I double click on the node, I'm going to change this to 13 to match what I have on my desk. And that's about all I need to do there. In the application here, I have the POU, so I'm going to open that up. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so we can see more going on. And the next thing I'm going to do is right click and insert empty box. And I'm going to add MC underscore. This is where all of our function blocks have come in. These are adaptations of the PLC Open library for Lexium 32. First thing I'm going to do is do a reset. So MC reset, and add a local instance of that, and I'm going to right click and insert a network below, add another block, and we're going to do MC power and add an instance of that. Right click, insert network below, and again insert empty box, and I'm going to do an MC jog. And we'll do it again, insert network below, and again this is all done over right click operations. MC read position, I'm going to read the actual position. Okay, and I'm going to enable this so it's true at all times. And next thing we're going to do is look at the address that we have. This is the servo. If I single click on here, you can see the name. I'm going to copy that name and paste it into the axis and hit enter. I'm going to do that on all of these. And next thing I'm going to do is add my HMI variables. These are all going to be global. So I'm going to do an HMI reset, and I'm going to specify the scope as global. Say OK. Do an HMI power, and we'll specify that as global as well. We'll do an HMI forward. And we'll just do a forward command here. Say global and OK. And we'll do position. And we'll make this a global as well. All right. The rest of these question marks I can blow away by hitting the delete button on my keyboard. And if you have any questions as far as what the input and output pins are of these function blocks, what you can do is hit F1. For example, on the jog, if I hit F1, it'll give me information about what these inputs do. By default, it's velocity slow, so it's going to assume a value of 60 RPM when I implement this. Next thing to do is share the variables. I'm going to add object, and I'm going to specify symbol configuration. I'm going to say add, and it's going to bring in the symbol configuration. It brings you right there. If I hit build, this is going to build my entire project and bring in the variables that I've declared as global. And this is, you need to specify as global to share them with the HMI. I'm going to hit checkboxes in all of these. Next thing I'm going to do is double click on HMI application. This is going to pull up the Video Designer software. And now within the Video Designer software, if I go to my panel, you can see in the bottom right corner it's updating the symbol information. It's bringing in all the tags, the code assist tags. Schneider Electric leverages Code Assist 3.0, and these PLC Open function blocks are all version 2.0. We're going to go ahead and make this window a little bit bigger, and we're going to add a switch here, and we'll call it, we'll give it a label right away. We're going to enable the label, and we'll call it reset. And I'm going to give it a color of black, and we're going to assign this as a bit, and we're going to specify it as a momentary on, and we're going to go ahead and add the variable. So I'm going to select the SoMachine tab. This is bringing in the variable, and we'll assign it to reset, and we'll hit add, and we'll say OK. Now I'm going to right click to make that deselect it. I'm going to copy and paste, and I'm going to do the same thing for my power. I'm going to rename this to power. And I'm going to come over here and do a toggle, and we're going to just rename this here directly, power. I'm going to copy this whole thing, and we're going to make it a switch with the lamp. We're going to make the lamp the exact same thing. I'm going to hit apply and then say OK. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a numeric display, and we're going to monitor the position. So I'll go ahead and add that in. We're going to hit the variable and select our position. Say OK. And we'll go ahead and say we'll add units. We'll say counts. Say OK. Alright. And then last but not least, we'll add our jog button. So I'm going to do again a copy paste operation. Open this up, and we're just going to name it forward. And what we're going to do is make sure that it's a toggle, and we're going to make sure it's at the forward tag. FWD. That works. Say apply, and OK. We should be all set to go. So just to verify, I'm gonna hit validate target, and you see it's one warning. We're good to go there. We're going to close out the Video Designer. Now if I come back here and double click, I can check my communication path. I am using Ethernet, and it turns highlighted bold, so that means I am connected. So I'm going to do an online multiple download, and I'm going to specify always perform a full download, and I'm going to download the project. And it's going to go ahead and download the project, and then it's going to boot the HMI. And you can see here I have the motor that's disengaged. I can move the shaft right now, and it's going to come up. And there we are. So you can see as I move it, already we're seeing the counts come in. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the reset button. We'll hit power. Okay, there we go. So we're engaged. Cannot move the shaft. And now I can go ahead and hit the forward button. And there we go. You see the counts moving up, and the motor's moving.